right, so we're recording. So this is our, for our newer coaches, kind of a getting started right call. Most of you are in your second or your third week of the February coach training. And I know at first, like the first week, you're super excited, you get going, the excitement's high, and then the coach training kind of dives down and you just kind of get swarmed up. And so our goal here is to just kind of reiterate what you've been learning in the coach basics, the coach training, and then try to answer those questions on a more personal level for you and make sure that you're getting on the right foot and hearing from you know, either your coach or somebody else in our team and stuff, and kind of figure out what we're doing and what works for us. So most of you have already done your, I like to call it your coming out post, your coming out that you're a Beachbody coach. If you haven't done that yet, that is definitely the first step you need to do. Because if you just start randomly inviting people and they go to your page and they're like, what is she even talking about? You know, you're like, hey, I got a challenge group, blah, blah, blah. You invite them. And if you haven't made that coming out post, you know, they may not have any idea kind of what you're talking about and stuff. Another great thing about that post is then you have all those people that like or that comment on that post, and there's a whole list of people that you can follow up with and invite and make those connections with and get started with. And all you did was announce that you are starting this new journey in your life. So definitely, if you haven't done that yet, think about drafting up a post, send it to your coach, share it in our team page, and get that out there so that people know that that is what you are doing. I'm going to share my screen really quick because I did not, there you go. Can you guys see this picture here? You see
yeah,
it?
we can.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So this is one area that I should have posted it earlier in the day, just about where you guys can kind of look at this and pick your path. And just because you pick something right now doesn't mean you have to stay on that same path the whole entire time that you are a coach throughout this whole journey. And that's the nice thing about this is it's your choice what you want to do. Most of you right now are in this discount spot position, okay? You are drinking Shakeology, you're in the challenge groups, you're working out, you don't want to sell anything, you're paying your fee, but you're getting your 25% off. Most of you probably started that way as a discount coach, and now maybe you are moving into this hobby coach range. And I'm going to guess that several of you are right there at that hobby coach. So you may have a full-time job, you have something else going on, you have kids, that kind of thing that keep you busy. You love the products, you enjoy sharing them with others, and you are just interested in earning extra income. So that puts you in that hobby coach position. As a business builder, you are all in, you're working on building a life of freedom, you are growing a team that is doing the same. And maybe you're somewhere in between. And that's okay. Wherever you are, that's okay. We just want to know as your coach where you are at so we know how to push you. And we know how to, you know, stay in contact with you. Okay, so like a couple of my coaches, I literally talk to them every single day. And we just go back and forth, we share ideas, we're talking, and that's just how we are because they are at that point where they want to build their business. So we are talking, but I have discount coaches and I don't talk to them every day because really they're just in there for the challenge group. We don't need to talk every day. So as your coach, as with Megan or Julie, whoever your coach is, they just want to know that so they know how much to invest and to push you and encourage you and those kind of things. So even if you're right now like just getting started and you're like, I have no idea, and you're in between that discount and hobby, that's okay. I mean, I started out as a hobby coach. I just wanted some extra money. I loved the products. I had a full-time job. I had a baby, all this stuff. But now I'm moving more towards that business builder, mainly because I'm growing a team and I'm working towards financial freedom and all those kind of things. And so it's okay to transfer and move in between those at any time. So I will definitely reshare this in the Healthy Living Dynasty team page. So check that out and just think about where you're at. After this call, reach out to your coach and say, hey, I am definitely a business builder right now. This is what I want. And then your coach will say, all right, awesome. I know that I need to push them, encourage them, check in with them every day, all this stuff. If you're a hobby coach, they know that they're going to still help you, but they know that you may not necessarily need that daily check-in and encouragement and those kind of things, okay? All right, so I'll stop that. So one of the things that we have really talked about in the coach training is your 3 vital behaviors. And if you listen to any YouTube recordings, you listen to any of the top coaches, you listen to anything through Beachbody, they talk about the 3 vital behaviors nonstop. And so I'm not going to, dig them into your brain and talk your ear off about them tonight. But they are so important. And every single coach, whether they are number 1 in the company or they are number 676 in the company, they do these 3 things every single day, and they are what needs to be done. And they are the 3 that we're going to talk to you about tonight. They're your keys to success, your ways to improve, your ways to get better, and that's going to help you build your business and go from there. So the first one is inviting. And this is probably one of the biggest ones, but one of the hardest ones. And it can be really scary at first. It can be one of those things that, you don't want that fear of rejection, or you don't want to offend somebody, whatever it might be. That can be the issue. But you have to look at it as people need your help. People, even if they are 120 pounds dripping wet, but they eat pizza and hot dogs and chips every night, they need your help. They need to get healthy. They need to end their risk of, heart disease and diabetes and those kind of things. And so it's your job to find them and to help them. And so if you look at it that way, rather than, okay, I'm trying to invite somebody, but I don't want to offend them, look at it as you're just trying to help them. You are just trying to spread what has happened to you and share that with somebody else. I always think of that, and you can too. What if my coach had never asked me? What if Megan had never asked you to join a challenge group? Where would you be? And so think about that when you are inviting. Remember, hey, if so-and-so hadn't asked me, where would I be? And I thought that a lot at the beginning too, because I hated inviting. I hated it. Now it's still not my favorite, but I know I have to do it. So I just do it right away. But I kept telling myself, okay, what if Heather had never invited me? On May 15th, 2015, what if she had never asked me to join her challenge group? Where would I be? Would I still be that overweight and battling and eating so out of control and all those kind of things? So think about that when you are sending those invites. If it's something that scares you or it makes you nervous, just look at it in that aspect as you're trying to help. Another thing is with being consistent, okay? Being consistent in your posting. The way that you post on your Facebook wall is also a way of inviting. So people are seeing that you're working out. They're seeing that you're drinking Shakeology. They are seeing that you are posting motivational quotes because you have changed on the inside. You have more confidence. They're seeing that you're motivating. That's kind of like your advertising, if you want to think of it that way. And so you have to be consistent. If you post that you work out on Monday morning, and then all of a sudden it's Saturday morning, you're like, yep, just worked out, woohoo, okay. So how many days went by with them not seeing you work out? And so some people are going to look at that and say, well, hey, if you want me to join your challenge group to work out, but you worked out 2 days last week, how credible are you? So you have to think of your consistency and being that proof to the customers that it is working. And then messaging. Okay, so sending those invites out in your messaging format, it has to be done every day. It just does. I shared a video a while back of what I have figured out what works best for me for tracking. But I take a blank calendar, I print it off, and I write down my 3 to 5 people that I'm going to invite. At the beginning of the month, I fill out that calendar. So I'm not sitting here at 10 o'clock at night thinking, who the heck am I going to invite today? And then scroll through my friends list and think, oh, I wonder what they're up to. And then I go creep on their wall, and then 20 minutes goes by, and I still haven't invited them yet. So for me, it worked for me to just sit down, write out my list of who I was going to invite, and then I could sit down and I could just type it or copy and paste it or whatever, and I could get it done in 5 minutes rather than taking me an hour to send out 5 invites. So figuring out what works for you, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can generate that list in a little bit at the end. But, just like your workouts, eventually, obviously, the first time you did total body cardio, it kicked your butt, and you were like, I can never do this again. I can't walk. I can't do plyo fix. I'm never going to be able to walk again. All this stuff. Just like that, the inviting will get easier. The posting on Facebook will get easier. Just rip off the Band-Aid and do it. inviting somebody to coaching. It's scary, but rip off the Band-Aid, and the sooner you do it, you know, the better you'll be, and it'll get easier each and every time that you do it. So that's the first vital, is your inviting. All right, and Megan's going to talk to you about the other two.
Okay, if you hear a dog in the background, just ignore it. Okay, the second part is being proof of the product. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay, I hate headphones, sorry. Okay, first thing I noticed was the workout posts and things like that. So in the accountability group, once I posted every single day, I worked out, took a picture, posted it in the group. I felt like I was holding myself more accountable, and then I knew that I was actually going to get my workout in. And then what I've been using for it lately is when I'm laying in bed and I wake up and I'm like scrolling with one eye and I see like 20 people have already worked out. I'm like, get your butt out of bed and go work out. So it's actually holding me accountable as well as everybody else. So just being proof of the product, making sure you're working out, post your sweaty selfie, you know the quote, if you didn't post it, did you actually work out, that kind of a thing. And then I just ended up posting it to my Facebook page just to kind of like say, hey, I worked out this morning, or this is what I did, or just kind of a takeaway from my workout that morning. And I've actually had a lot of people that would message me and say, okay, what's this 21-day fix thing you keep posting about? Or wow, your results are awesome, or it looks like you're doing really cool workouts, I want to try those, or just different things like that. So I've had a lot more success being able to just kind of post what I'm working out, post it on my Facebook page, in the challenge groups and things like that. When you are trying to be proof of the product, just make sure that you're sharing your story and you're not necessarily selling Beachbody. So I don't ever really go on my page and say like, hey, look, I have Shakeology for $129.99, you know, come and get it. Like, I don't ever do that part. I always just say like, hey, I'm sitting here, you know, at night working and I'm having my shake, or just kind of showing pieces of Beachbody that you have throughout the day, like what Beachbody has done for you. So I post a lot about like I struggle with my thyroid and things, and Shakeology has actually gotten me off some of my thyroid pills. So that's awesome. And so just kind of like sharing that story with everybody else, because I actually had, you know, 5 to 10 people message me and say like, hey, I have thyroid problem too. I cannot believe this worked for you. I still want to try it, you know, and you're inspiring people, even though you don't really realize it. Just you working out every single day is giving people motivation to work out themselves. And then I would say, when you are posting about Beachbody or whatever, you don't have to like hashtag Beachbody, you know, you don't have to do that part. You just tell everybody your story, how it's helped you, and they kind of put the pieces together, and then that actually leaves a little bit of wiggle room for them to message you and say like, hey, I heard you're doing, you know, the 21-day fix, or what's Dirty 30, or, you know, why are your legs sore on Thursdays all the time, you know, or something like that. So just sharing your story and being proof of the product. So that would be the second vital behavior. The third one would be professional development. So a lot of us on here are teachers, actually, probably almost all of us except for Laura. She cuts hair, and Julie sells or works with insurance. But professional development, making yourself better from the inside out, is basically how I look at it. So one thing that I require, or I guess the other reading teacher at our school requires, is 15 minutes for our students to read every single day. So if I can't do that, I don't think I should be asking it of them. So what I've been trying to do is read every night for 15 minutes before I go to bed, instead of watching TV, since Aaron always has it on, because it makes me relaxed. It lets me fall asleep. I'm not worrying about everything. I let things kind of go so I can fall asleep. So I just kind of have a goal of 15 to 30 minutes a day, just depending on how many pages I get through. Just kind of doing that mental focus, because when you start asking people like, hey, you know, I have a challenge group, do you want to join? And you're going to get people that say, no, thank you. You're going to get people that are rude and say, I can't believe you're asking me this, you know, absolutely not. And you're also going to get really good things, you know, like a lot of you that are on here. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Thank you for asking me. I've always wanted to do something, but it's mentally like draining. I'm not kidding. when you send messages out and people are like, no, 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 it's draining. And I understand that part. And so this is a great way for you to just kind of get lost in a book. It helps you build yourself, your self-esteem, everything from the inside out. Another thing would be that I was going to just show you this book. This is what I'm reading. I'm almost finished. I know I'm taking forever to read it. Yeah. So it has quotes in there. So that kind of keeps me going every single day. I read the quote. I close the book. I think about it. I don't know, I'm making like a lesson for teaching, but I'm thinking about it, you know, what does it apply in my life? How can I use it? And then I read the entire chapter. And then I just am like, oh, yep, that makes sense. That's what I was thinking. Or, wow, I didn't even think that way, or anything like that. And it helps me when I'm posting. It helps me get my butt out of bed and work out. So that's good. And the one that I'm reading is You Are a Badass. And so when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, heck yeah, I'm a badass. I'm getting after this workout. So that would be like the third vital behavior is professional development. And then the next part, I just wanted to talk to you because I still have or had some questions from some of you as well about workout progressions. So some of you or most of you started with a 21-day fix. I know, Scarlett, you did T25 because you had that beforehand. And she loved it. She loved T25. I did that the summer before I started the 21-day fix. I loved the workouts, 25 minutes, super easy. The only thing is I did not eat well at all because I didn't have a meal plan. I didn't have containers to help me. I didn't have anything. And so I gained a ton of weight from it, and it just didn't help me. I did the 21-day fix. I think I did 2 or 3 rounds of it, actually. The first round, I was kind of starting with 5s, trying to figure out my body. I used 10s a little bit. And then I was kind of like, okay, I want more. So I added 10s and 15s. So I was just kind of listening to my body. Okay, I need more weight. I moved up in weight, and I had really good results with that. And then the third round, I think I started just doing doubles. They give you, in the calendar, they give you a doubles option. So I was kind of doing that. And then it was also nice outside. So I was running outside, taking the dog for a walk. But after that, I was kind of like still looking for more because I felt like my body needed, you know, maybe something else or something different. So I did do the extreme. I only did 1 round of it because Hammer and Chisel came out. But with the extreme, I felt my body just kind of like it shrunk because it just like toned up so much. It's different intervals. So the fix is 1-minute intervals, and then there's a break in between. The extreme, Scarlett, is like 30 seconds, correct? And then you get, I can't remember, it's like 10 seconds in between or something. So it kind of pushes you mentally, and it's more about endurance. So it's a really good workout after you do the fix. And then I'm doing Hammer and Chisel right now, and I think I love it more than Aaron. No, I'm just kidding. But Aaron and I actually work out together. So Hammer and Chisel, part of it's hammer, so it's a little bit more of lifting. So if you're in college and lifted in college or even in high school, so it's ranges from, I think it's like 25 to 40-minute workouts. It just depends. And then one day is hammer, one day is chisel, and chisel is autumn. So it's a lot kind of like the 21-day fix and the extreme. So together they balance, and they are awesome. I had really good results with it. I love the program, and I actually love working out and waking up and doing this program. And then last thing is in March, they're coming out with a new program. It's called 22-minute hard corps, and I tried it when it had like a sneak peek, and I think I posted a video on Facebook just of like a little short clip of it. But oh man, I'm really excited. It's awesome. It's 22 minutes. You know, you can't ask for anything better than that. And it's more of a military base, but at the same time, it's, you know, to the point. You do your workout and you get done. And I was drenched. And Aaron was like, "Are you out of shape or what?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've been doing all these workouts," but it really pushed me. So there is a progression if you want to do it. It's not a pyramid scheme. You can do the fix for the rest of your life if you want to, but if you want to challenge yourself and keep moving, absolutely. The fix, you know, there's the extreme, hammer and chisel. Scarlett did T25. That's there too. There's tons of great programs, so just kind of whatever you're thinking, just listen to your body. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions so far? I did have somebody say the other day that they kind of compared the Hard Corps 22 coming out with T25, like they're pretty similar, just in the sense of like the cardio and the, just no weights and that kind of thing. So they'll be pretty similar. So if you have done T25 or anything like that, like it'll be kind of similar and stuff like that. So kind of the last thing I wanted to touch on is just, we kind of gave you, re-emphasize those 3 vital behaviors. You know what you can do personally for yourself to continue that workout progression. And the last part of it is your coach progression. So right now, some of you are sitting at, you have some challengers signed up. Some of you are an emerald rank, and you're kind of wondering, where do I go from here? Or maybe you are like, you're checking your commissions and you're like, okay, like there's not a ton here, like what's going on? And that really comes from your coach progression, comes from getting other coaches. And I know at first, because that was me too, like I didn't really have, Julie was my first coach and she jumped on with me right away. But like Megan was my second coach and she didn't start until, was it October, Megan? Did you start?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had officially started coaching in July. So my business didn't really start moving forward until like 3 or 4 months. And I had Julie working with me, but it was her and I, and then Megan got on. And so don't feel like right now I'm saying that, okay, you're going to coach, you need to go and get challengers and you need to invite to the coaching sneak peek next week. That's not what I'm saying at all. But just know that that is how you're going to build. And that's how you're going to move forward. So once you get to that point where you have challengers, then always be thinking that the next step is inviting those people to this opportunity as well. So just like, your coach invited you to the challenge group, it's kind of the same thing with the coaching. You know what it's done for you, you know how it's going to keep you accountable, and that's what moves you forward too, is by building that team underneath of you and growing and helping. And that takes time. And so don't feel like that this is what you need to do tonight is go and start finding coaches, because we just had a video on it a little bit ago, a call on it a little bit ago. And I can say it for myself that my best coaches have been my challengers. The 2 of them are up there in the corners, right? Like that, and that's where it goes. And I've tried to invite people that haven't done my challenge groups, and they, they're like, but the challengers come first. So definitely right now, focus on getting challengers. Next month, reach out to those challengers, and don't be afraid to invite them to the coaching opportunity. Because 1, share that experience with them. If you keep that inside of you, you're just harming them by not inviting them. And 2, if you want to continue to move forward and move up that ladder and figure out where you want this journey to take you, you have to have people to build. And honestly, like, it's the best part. It's just the friendships and the people and having girls' nights and getting together and talking all day, every day. Like Megan was my coworker before this last year. I think we talked like maybe every once in a while in the hall, like, oh, hey, your 5th graders are annoying today. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, have fun. See you later. And now, like today, we talk every single day. One of my good coaches, she was one of my best friends in high school. We didn't talk for years. And same thing. Now we talk every single day. So that's probably one of the best parts for me, has been the friendship. But that just comes from getting out of your comfort zone, sharing your story. And I love what Megan said about the personal development, professional development. This is draining. You are going to get no's. You're going to have struggles. But the more you read and believe that you are a badass and that you have the power and it's within you, and you let go of all of that and you stop caring what other people think, it's amazing what can happen to you and just the things that you can overcome and just the way you can move forward and change lives. It's crazy, but you can. And so I'm glad you guys are all here. I'm super excited you're on our team and that you're making this choice to move forward, and just know that we're all here to help you get started. We've all been there. So definitely. So any questions? We'll open it up right now to any questions that you guys might have for any of us.
Okay, I have a little thing. So Scarlett, you kind of did your coming out post, sort of, and then Emily, I posted a thing about coaching because I couldn't wait to tell everybody. So if you feel like you still want to go back through and say share a little bit of your story about how I have no idea how, because I've had 7 of them and I can't stand it, but like how you go through like getting migraines and headaches and working 2 jobs and going here and there and driving and just doing everything, and then you still are taking time for yourself. Like I really think that you inspire me, because I think it's hard to take care of Aaron and a dog, and you're like, go to this job, drive here, turn around, take care of my kids, I work out, and then I go and do this job. So, I mean, if you feel like you still want to make like some sort of a post, absolutely go for it, because I think that there's a ton of people out there that would be just incredibly inspired by what you're doing and everything like that. So that was just one little thing I wanted to say.
And as scary as it is, the more open that you are, the better results you get, because people see the true you, and they're drawn to you because of that. And they want to join you because of your story and because you're being open. And so it is scary. It is. So you just have to rip the Band-Aid off and just, oh, hi, Jakey, and just rip it off and just do it. So as scary as it is, send it to Megan, post it in the group, and cover your eyes. I usually post like my stuff, and then I don't look at it again until like my transformations. I just post it and then don't look at it first.
I think I like send mine to you in an email, and I'm like, oh my God, is this terrible or what? And you were just like, no, it's really good, post it. I'm like, okay.
And you're your own worst critic for sure. Like you'll think this is terrible, and then yeah. Awesome. Well, Julie or Megan, do you guys have anything else to add? We've got about 9 minutes.
I think just stay true. If you really believe in the product, you have to just follow through with it. That's been huge for me. The numbers of challengers I've gotten, no, they haven't converted to coaches yet, but there's a lot of conversations happening. So until they see that other people are converting to coaches, I think it's going to take a little bit of momentum to get that going. But I had some good talks here in the last little bit. So.
I was going to say too, like even with challengers and stuff, when you're asking them, at first I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ask her. Like, I'll just pick on Erin because I know I can. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not asking her. You know, she's going to be like, what? Do you think I'm like overweight or something? You know, I just pick people that I want to work with every single day. And I know, hey guys, who would want to, you know, work with me and who I work really well with and who have a drive and a passion to help people. So it's crazy how a lot of our coaches are actually teachers, because we do it every single day. We help people every single day. So this is just kind of like teaching to me, I guess, but, you know, in the fitness world, I guess. And then another thing I was going to say was on Tuesday nights, Kylie, I was just going to explain like your team calls. So it's kind of just like this. Kylie talks and stuff and then asks questions and all that and kind of gives us information. So on Tuesday nights at 8:30 usually works. There's a link just kind of like tonight. So I kind of have that planned out. So every Tuesday I, you know, catch her call and stuff. And that's just a great way to talk to everybody else. I love seeing all of you and then, you know, just kind of getting that information. So if you're free on Tuesdays. So.
Do you see my child? What? Oh my God.
She's like jumping up and down.
Yeah, I never get anything done.
Hey, one more thing I wanted to mention too, when Megan was talking about the whole like being proof of the product and not selling. I think sometimes people think that a lot, that in order to coach you have to sell. Like I have to sell a certain amount of product, or I have to, but it's so not like that at all. I mean, it's honestly you just sharing your story and you just like sharing about your day, posting about your kids, posting about your dog or whatever it might be, or like things with your fiance or whatever it might be. Like you're sharing your story and you're being open, and that's what draws people to you. So do not feel like you have to, you know, here's my, like she said, here's my Shakeology, $129 or whatever, you know. And so that's what's so great about this too, is that, and you can kind of take whatever angle you want to go with it and so on. So awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, then we'll let you guys go, but thanks for jumping on. I think next Tuesday we might have a live coaching event, so I don't know if we'll necessarily have a team call. It depends on what time we want to do our coaching event, but I'll always post the link in there. But we'll probably have like a little Q&A at like 8 o'clock, so if you're available at 8 o'clock next Tuesday, we'll probably jump on then and talk a little bit before the live event. But other than that, questions or anything, post them in either my group or Megan's group or whatever, wherever you feel comfortable posting those questions. And don't ever feel scared to post a question in there, because there's a lot of new coaches, and a question that might seem silly to you, I guarantee you somebody else is wondering that same thing or asking that same thing. So don't be afraid to post it in the group. You know, like, how do I sign somebody up as a customer and not a coach or whatever? Like, don't feel weird about asking that. Just definitely post that in there, because I'm sure there's more than one person that wonders that. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. Have a good night. See you later. Bye.